guys, this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures, and today I'm going to give you my review on Plankton the movie. In this one, Plankton once again tries and fails to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, which makes his computer wife Karen feel pretty fed up after Plankton has ignored her ideas for far too long. She kicks him out of the and decides to do the one thing that Plankton couldn't do. Plan to take over for the entire world. So Plankton has to reluctantly team up with SpongeBob to get to the issue with his relationship with Karen, and eventually stop Karen from taking over the Plankton's plan and save Bikini Bottom. So, I think it's safe to say when I was coming into this film, I wasn't entirely sure what to think about it. On one hand, the idea of a movie focused on the villain of SpongeBob, Plankton himself, does have a lot of potential. And it is something that I could definitely see working. On the other hand, let's not forget that last year we saw the release of another Netflix original spin-off film. It was starring one of the characters from SpongeBob, saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. And yeah, that one was pretty bad, not gonna lie. But what was kind of surprising is that Plankton ended up meeting the same fate as Sandy's movie. No, I'm not talking about the quality of the film itself just yet. I mean, like the Sandy Cheeks movie, Plankton got his entire film leaked onto Twitter. It's a funny entire world to see. I like to say even Bikini Bottom, however, I didn't get a chance to see either leak. So I'm coming in 100% and fresh into this movie with little to no knowledge known about it. And I gotta say, it was kind of decent. Like, I'm gonna go say it's the best of the SpongeBob films. I still think the main and three are a lot better, but I had an okay time with it. And hey, it's 100 times better than Saving Bikini Bottom than the Sandy Cheeks movie. I'll say that now. So let's start with the characters. As you know, this is a movie about Plankton. I know it's weird for me to remind you that, the title literally is called Plankton the movie, but the reason why I say is that with the exception of Karen and maybe SpongeBob, Plankton's kind of like the only character that matters. It's not to say any of the other characters are bad or anything, it's just they have very minimal screen time, and their roles feel quite small. Or the only ones that do try their best to have big part or decent sized parts in the film are Andy Powell and Mrs. Who team up with Plankton and SpongeBob in the film to help them stop Karen. And Patrick later jump on before the climax to add a bit of extra comedy. The rest, like Mr. Krabs and Squidward, show minor appearances throughout the rest of the film, but not big enough to make a huge impact. But going to the characters that do kind of matter, first we have Plankton, the evil, little figure of Bikini Bottom that has the plans to rule the entire world. But fails miserably at it. In fact, his latest plan backfired so bad that left Karen having to betray him. Well, I really love what they did with Plankton in this film, is that they don't go for the cliche that when the villain gets his own movie, they have to turn good. But for the most part, Plankton is still pretty much evil throughout the entire film. Yeah, he could have a few good traits here and there, but the film does keep true to Plankton's character, to Anne have a strong understanding of what he's about. However, there are a few things that this film explored with Plankton that I thought was really clever. This is especially good Ace with his computer wife, Karen, when technically, yes, as in this film, she will take the role as the villain of the feature, show where she's got frustrated with Plankton's plans failing over and over again, and that her husband ain't listening to her anymore, or that he's taking her revenge, and by doing the one thing Plankton couldn't. However, but with this, it actually goes deep into the relationship between Plankton and Karen, when showing that while they do have ups and downs, and it's important that they stick together. In fact, the film does do some good flashbacks back to the past, as that do show the relationship. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but one of the things that makes you invested with the feature is to see how Plankton and Karen will resolve their conflict, and get back out together again. And the only other character that has the biggest role in the feature is SpongeBob himself. I admit they did a good job of toning him down, where unlike the Sandy Cheeks movie, he does offer some gags that can be decent. But all he's made and he's put in the role as Plankton's therapist is trying to get down between the problem between him and Cat. And well, having a part of him in believing that there's good in everyone, including Plankton. Then I will say, while the characters themselves may not be anything noteworthy, the one thing that does help make them enjoyable is the voice acting. And yes, that's the character. Yes, I'm sure it's not a surprise. I mean, the actors have been doing this job for 25 years, so they should know their characters. And yet, there's still a bit of passion showing how much they love them within this film. Acting off in some top tier performances is that how bringing their characters to life in new ways than one. And next, there's the songs. One thing that Plankton decided to do to make his movie stand out from all the other SpongeBob films is to make this a musical, or at least try to. Because honestly, I kept forgetting that this was a musical. Cool. This isn't because of the songs themselves, but because of how little they really happen in the feature. There are definitely a couple of songs, but they don't happen often, and there are lots of moments that make me question why is this even a musical in the first place. I'm Plankton is the one that gets most of the songs, with the exception of SpongeBob and Karen having one. Plankton is the only one that does get the most to sing, while some the others do have little moments here and there. That being said, while it's hard to remember this as a musical, this isn't to say the songs are bad or anything. In fact, I'd say that they are the best parts of the feature. This is especially the case where they do a good job of staying true to the personalities of each of the characters, as knowing a lot about them, and staying true to who they are. If there were times that I was having fun with the feature, it was mainly during songs like I'm Plankton, say, hey, my name I'm Karen, I made a new friend, and I'm a jerky jerk. I'll even give credit to Welcome to Bikini Bottom for being a nice introduction to the film. Next, there's the thought, or honestly, I don't think the SpongeBob movies were ever well known for their stories. with the exception of the first film, most of them do for all simple stories that aren't that big. And the same can kind of be said for Plankton's film. My biggest problem with the film, it was how it felt. It was like there's nothing that's too much original. No, or in fact, it can happen sometimes. I'm sure Plankton's movie can take inspiration from some of the other SpongeBob films. Like the entire T of Bikini Bottom is in huge peril, just as like 3 out of 4 of the other SpongeBob films. And SpongeBob has to team up with Plankton in order to save the day and stop a bigger at a villain, just like in Sponge Out of Water. In fact, for the most part, it does feel like a downgraded version of that film. And with the exception, and that is not obviously Abby Patty's secret formula in danger this time. And that is just us, the town. As a result, it does make the film feel easily predictable, although the outcomes are quite guessable. And it's clear from the beginning of what's going to happen. And however, even though that the story isn't great, I wouldn't say it's a lost cause, because there are a few things that it does that are quite good. This is especially the case with the relationship between Plankton and Karen. And like I said before, that is where the true strength and for the feature lies, where despite having a rivalry throughout the entire feature, they also do try to bring the heart shut on how even if they have their ups and downs, they still secretly care for each other. And those Plankton struggles to on how much Karen really does mean to him and that he needs to see it. Yeah. Granted, I won't say the backstory is perfect, as it can retcon some older SpongeBob episodes. But for the most part, I think it did a good job of setting the tone of the series and making the relationship between the two be as strong as it probably is in the show. Also, as this technically counts as a SpongeBob movie, one thing that this film has to focus on the most is the humour. As long as the film can be constantly funny, then that can make up for some of the feature's shortcomings. And I will say is that for the most part, the humour is quite decent. I won't say this is a laugh out loud movie, but I was surprised to find how many jokes were entertainingly funny and did at least get a few chuckles out of me. Granted, some of them are technically references to the previous show. But it doesn't change the fact that I was still having quite a lot of with SpongeBob and Plankton whenever they offer for some decent gags. And then there is the animation. And honestly, if there's one thing that got a big improvement from Saving Bikini Bottom to this, it would be with the computer animation. Because it looks pretty good. I won't say it's amazing or the best looking SpongeBob movie, but for the most part, it is a solid looking feature. I might as well start with getting into the big issues with the animation, and that's mainly with the texture. It's not to say they're bad or anything. On average, they can be decent. It's just as they don't feel as fluid as they did last time. In fact, they feel quite flat. Showing Bikini Bottom to not having been as much excitement in it as it usually does. Granted, the film does try to offer lots of colour, but it does only add a bit of minor help and not big enough up to fix all of its issues. This isn't to say that everything about it is bad, as the backgrounds can be quite enjoyable and stay true to the look of the show. But then there are the characters, and this is probably the most mixed thing about the animation here. On one hand, and the designers do a great job of still being CG versions of these 2D characters, and staying true to their original looks. But when it comes to their movements, however, for the most part, I found them to be quite stiff. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is noticeable that the film does try to keep up with the show's high energy. But the budget, do you feel it was like I missed the crap out of this in shot as it went to try to save costs, but do a lot of things all at once. And however, well, there are times where the movements can feel flat, and there are also other times that the movements can be smooth and help the comedic effect of the animation should feel quite strong. On top of that, the film does, us like the others for SpongeBob films, have moments with the animation will blend with the live action world. However, unlike the other films, those moments are very far and few between. Where they are kind of minimal, or and have like once or twice in the feature, and it's usually for like 1 or 2 minutes, or even a few seconds of that. Where the film probably would be much different than if they just removed them. However, this isn't to say the animation is bad, as there are a lot of things that the feature does to make it stand out from the other SpongeBob movies. There are some moments where the feature can change its animation style to make it stand out, and I'll admit those moments are quite creative. They don't happen all the time, but when they do, they make the most of the budget, and be highly engaging and very creative. Also, where the creativity of the animation was put on most is with the musical numbers. Those are the moments that do stand out the most, to make the film at least fun to look at, as well as fun to listen to the songs. I'll even give credit to some of the action scenes where the animation does play a good role in making them maybe not intense, but a lot of fun and enjoyable. So overall, it's debatable to call this the best SpongeBob movie, but I can definitely say that it's a huge improvement over the last one. Plankton the movie is a flawed but still pretty decent animated feature on its own. The writing might not be all that impressive, as it can offer for a pretty weak story, or with flat characters that don't offer much of the feature, but there was surprisingly a lot of strengths that helped kept this movie pretty strong. Like the relationship between Plankton and Karen, some decent animation, some pretty enjoyable musical numbers, and some good humour on top of a talented voice cast. As for my recommendation, it honestly depends how much you are a fan of SpongeBob, and mainly the character of Plankton. For SpongeBob fans, and if you're like a die-hard fan, and then this is definitely worth a watch. If you're someone that used to be a fan but you're not as huge into SpongeBob anymore, I would recommend to watch this at least once to say you've seen it, but you're probably not going to miss much if you choose to skip this one. Plankton might have failed to rule the world, but he was at least able to offer a film that is kind of decent, and that's why I'm giving this feature a 6 out of 10. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!